a topic that we really need to discuss is the environment. As young people, we really need to take a step forward and really work to reduce our carbon footprint. There's a lot of really simple things, like really not hard things, that we can all do to, save the environment. So. It would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please leave a thumbs up down below and a comment. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified every time you post a new video. Thank you. Everyone's been talking about how bad for the environment straws are getting because of turtles eating them and marine life, and them all dying from consumption of plastic straws. And yes, there are many alternatives like paper straws, but the problem with paper straws is that they can get really uncomfortable to drink out of eventually because they get all soggy and gross. And then of course there is metal straws, but those don't biodegrade. And also a man the other day killed himself by falling over and poking himself in the eye with a metal straw. So yeah. And then of course there's these things called pasta straws and bamboo straws, but the pasta straws take a lot of energy to produce, and they're one-use things. There's all of these different problems with straws. I think the solution would be, if you're drinking a normal drink like tea or juice, why do you actually need a straw? And I understand if you're drinking like a Boost smoothie or bubble tea or something, then you use a straw, but if you don't, still that would take the straw usage down a whole lot if you're only using it for like a few drinks. Maybe next time you're drinking your Coke or your iced drink or whatever, try ditching the straw. Let's talk about cling wrap or Glad wrap. So obviously this is entirely made out of plastic and it's a one-use thing, so it's not very good for the environment. And there are many alternative use, other things that you can do instead of cling wrap. Say it's like a small bowl, like this one. You can just simply put a plate over it and that keeps it fresh. Or if it's a bigger bowl, and another really good thing that you can do is get a shower cap, like this is one that I found in a hotel, and just chuck it over the bowl like this, and it keeps it fresh and it's reusable. And there's also another alternative, which is beeswax paper, which I haven't actually got, but if you're interested in seeing it, I can make another video showing how to make beeswax. And there's also obviously the last alternative that you can use is just a reusable container. You can also get ceramic or metal containers if you don't want to use plastic. I'm going to replace my plastic toothbrush with a bamboo one. We compost all of the scraps that we don't use, and we have a compost bin in the garden, and it's really good for the garden, really good for all the worms. So this really helps reduce our general waste. Actually reduced our rubbish per week to only 1 bag of landfill rubbish. To be honest, even though it's really good for the environment and stuff, this is my least favorite chore because it can get really gross. Ugh. So we're at Salvo's in Oakley, and I brought my 4 friends, and we're here because...
There's 3 of us.
It's Salvo's! Yay!
What?
So when I Opshop, I always feel like I'm rescuing clothes because only 10% of the clothes in Opshops get sold and the rest goes into landfill. And the clothes don't biodegrade, so whenever I Opshop, I feel like I'm doing something really good for the environment. Another thing we've done is we've put away our coffee machine because for that you have to make coffee with these little pod things, which are, as you can see, covered in plastic. And instead we use grinded coffee. Okay. So with the used coffee, like leftovers stuff. What we do with it is we put it in a jar and we water the plants with it because it's actually really good for the garden. Another thing that you can do is you can get keep cups, and when you go to cafes, if you need to get coffee or hot chocolate, you can ask them to put it in your reusable keep cup instead of putting it in the usual paper cups that you get, because they have plastic lids and the actual cups themselves are coated in plastic. This is a really good thing to do. So rather than using your regular like pad things, because these are quite bad for the environment, as it comes in a main plastic wrapper thing, and then they're all individually wrapped in plastic, and then when you open them up, they have these paper plasticky kind of things on them as well. When you dispose of the actual pad, it doesn't biodegrade very quickly either, so it's quite bad for the environment. Something that you can use instead of these is your menstrual cup, which is like made of silicone. So at the end you just wash it out and then you reuse it. As for the boys, you should be glad that you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. Instead of buying your tea in little packages like this, where all of the teas, all of the like tea bags are individually wrapped in plastic, you should always buy it in bulk, because then they aren't individually wrapped in plastic, and then you get so much more with much less packaging. And if you want to take it even a step further, you can just buy the actual tea leaves. So another nice and easy thing to do is when you're buying fruits and vegetables in the supermarket, instead of buying the option where it's wrapped in plastic, why don't you just buy the option that is naturally wrapped in Mother Nature's wrapping?